So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
Jonah, also known as Fantasy Camp.
We're gonna ask him some questions today about the upcoming album, Casual Intimacy. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Thank you. So far, so good. It's a little bit of a sound switch, so I'm happy that people seem to like it.
Hell yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I also enjoyed it. Yes,
Hell yeah.
Thanks.
of course. This is going to be like such a reach, but I feel like this sound is kind of what Harry Styles wanted to achieve but failed to achieve. So
Interesting.
yeah, so
I've only
you did
heard
good.
the song that's on the radio, which I like,
Mhm.
but it kind of sounds like The Strokes to me.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
don't
I
know
can
if
hear that.
that's what the other songs on the album sound like, but
No.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about how much I disliked the album because I
Oh,
wished
okay.
it sounded like your album.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah.
Well, when I run into Harry next, I'll tell him.
Oh God.
Can you also let him know that you were on this really sick podcast that would love to talk
Yeah.
to him about the album that we completely trashed on?
And that we love so much if he comes on the podcast.
Yeah.
So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, it's just kind of about like the weirdness of like dating people again after I was in a long-term relationship for a while, and it was just kind of like while I was writing these songs was just going through like the weird motions of like trying to meet new people and dating apps and going on dates and stuff like that. And that's kind of what like the phrase casual intimacy, it's kind of like a uh what's the word? It doesn't really make sense, but that's kind of what modern dating is like
Mhm.
now. So yeah, it's just about that. And then the artwork is kind of just a representation of that. I felt like the songs all kind of had a old-timey feel to them. So I wanted the artwork to portray, kind of, or like evoke that kind of imagery.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it's just like two people making out that look like they're in the 50s or something.
Love that.
Perfect.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, so it started with the first song, which is the one that's out currently. I made that song with this basically I got this new, I got a plugin for the program that I use to like produce stuff, and it had this really cool like fake guitar sound that I really liked. And so I made the first song and I was really hype on it, so I just kept going and I kept using that sound.
Mhm.
And so what you hear throughout the whole record is just this like fake MIDI guitar that I put a bunch of effects on just so it sounds like it's never really doing much. It's mostly just like background chords, almost
Mhm.
like a pad or just a keyboard sound.
Mhm.
But it kind of sounds like a guitar too, just with chorus and delay and stuff on it. So I just made that first song and then um, kind of just went off of my excitement for that song and made a bunch more.
All right.
It's really sick. So what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Um, I think it would be the same answer for both, which is the song called Adeline, which is
Oh, that's my
the
favorite. Mhm.
third single coming out. So that'll come out in October. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit different than the other songs on the album. It's got like kind of a Britpop
Mhm.
feel, almost like a one of the happier songs by The Cure kind of sound. um, and yeah, just like the melodies and like the way that I'm singing is not a way that I would normally sing. So I just would worked on the lyrics and like reworked the song a bunch of times and changed the drums, and uh I think the last file that ended up at was like Adeline version 8 or something.
Wow.
So I just like couldn't decide on how I wanted the song to be finished, but got there eventually. I'm pretty stoked on how it turned out.
Hell yeah. All
For
right.
sure.
So I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off the album and the meaning behind it.
Oh man, that's tough. I guess I'll go with these lyrics from Adeline as well. Just like
Yes.
in the second verse, uh, some things never change. I've loved you my whole life, and I probably will love you till I die.
Nice.
Uh, I just feel like that's like a pretty good representation of how I uh, become enamored in relationships and stuff like that, and just very I romanticize things a lot and just a little bit overkill sometimes.
Fair enough.
That's fair. That is my favorite song off the album. So great
Thank you.
pick. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So how did the track list for this album come about? Did you write the opener to be an opener, closer to be a closer, kind of shuffle around, see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, so I had the Blood Moon I made first, and I thought it would just be a cool opening track just because it's slow and it's like sort of ethereal. So I thought it would just be like a cool way to introduce the record. And then you don't want to put two slow songs next to each other. So then the next three are kind of like more fast paced, upbeat songs.
Yeah.
And then goes back to a slower one, and then one that's like mid tempo. And then so Blood Moon and the last song, which is literally titled the last song. I knew those two. I knew like which one I wanted to be first and which I wanted to be last. So that's about it. And then the other ones I kind of just arranged based on like casual intimacy, the title track. I felt like was the first like immediate single that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
So I think traditionally that song always goes second. And then the rest are kind of just like based on how the record flows.
Okay.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So can you tell us where your headspace was at while you're writing this album?
Honestly, just like a lot of excitement and just like just throwing myself into a lot of different and sometimes unusual situations that often left me like wanting to write a song or make something out of it. And it was also like my attempt at writing songs that are a little more happy sounding, like for the first time ever. So like I've made some in the past, but this was like I wanted to make a project that was like mostly love songs.
Okay.
So that was kind of where my head was at writing these.
When you started answering this question, were you like deliberately putting yourself in like certain situations so like you could come up with song ideas? That's what it kind of sounded like.
I mean, I don't think so. Maybe like subconsciously, but I didn't like set out to do that. But I think every person who makes art of any kind went through this period of 2020 where like nothing cool or interesting was happening to them. I mean, everyone in general went through that, but because of that, you don't really have things to draw on or inspiration to make stuff out of. So once the world started to open back up again, I was like, I need to get out there and do things and just meet people and have experiences, not just for the purpose of songwriting, but it definitely helps.
For sure.
Okay. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, start with headphones on? Should they work out to it, with the class at a party? What do you personally recommend?
I think that they should pre-order the record at memorymusic.net and listen to it on a record player if you have one. But no, I mean, if you that's something that I'm really into, so that's what I would do. But if you're not really into records or anything, and you just want to stream it somewhere, I guess I don't know. Certain songs are okay for like a social setting, but I think if you're going to listen to the whole thing front to back, you should probably do it alone. preferably with headphones, but whatever works. If you got a Bluetooth speaker, or maybe in your cars, old speakers, that might sound cool. I always I test everything out because I have like a pretty old car, so if the mix is bad, it's definitely going to sound bad in there, and if the mix is good, then it'll pass the car test. So that's like one of my preferred ways to listen to music as well.
All right,
that's a good way.
Hell yeah. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Dreamy love songs.
That's good.
Oh, that was perfect and quick. Thank you.
No problem.
So in the same vein as the last question, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
In a single word?
No.
Is that
no.
oh, okay.
As many, bro, you could go off on a whole like paragraph essay. Go for it, man.
No, I guess I just like hope it comes across that these are supposed to be like romantic songs, and if you have someone in your life that you love or care about, I hope it makes you think of them and it makes you feel happy.
I think you did a pretty good job with the packaging, the title, and hopefully people listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes, that's not lyrics aren't everybody's cup of tea, but hopefully sonically it comes across as well.
Yeah. All right. So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this album?
Well, I write and record and produce everything in this room here, so there's not a lot of crazy memories attached to that, mostly just me in my room alone. But since working with Memory and Will and Tim, we recently filmed a live session with a full band that's going to come out, and that was my first time playing with the full band, and that was sick. But I think even cooler than that was just Will getting me the test presses of the record. I've always wanted fantasy camp stuff to be on vinyl, but just never had that opportunity, so that was like a dream come true for me.
Absolutely. And like just getting to like work with Will Yip in general and like having his name on your music, that's like got to be an honor in and of itself.
Yeah, super sick. I've known Will for a couple years, and I've been in other bands that have like done demos and stuff at Studio 4, and so when I had this record, I was just like, who could I send this to that would believe in it and be able to like help make it what it should be? And I was like, oh yeah, I have Will's number, let me just see if he likes this or not. And like, it worked out.
The fact that he like chose to pick you up means that he really likes you, because I've noticed that the label, it's like it's like one album cycle at a time, so they don't sign a shit ton of people. It's like one album cycle and then they start another one. So hell yeah. I'm very stoked and honored to be working with them. Hell yeah,
love it. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop, you're going in. What is your snack of choice?
First option, cashews.
Okay.
I love cashews or any type of like nut mix. If I'm really hungry and I know I'm not going to be able to get food for a while, I'll get one of those, forget what the brand is called. It's like Larry and something. They're like protein cookies.
Oh yeah, I see.
They're giant. But I'll get that if I need to like substitute a meal, because it's just a giant protein cookie and it's pretty filling. And then I usually get like for a drink, I'll either get like some type of spring water, or if I'm feeling crazy, I'll get a Glacier Freeze Gatorade.
Ooh.
That's the best flavor.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
Yeah.
So on the topic of food, if the project was a dish, what dish would it be and why?
I don't know. I'm picturing like someone having a date at an Italian restaurant, like a fancy upscale. But I've never been to one of those, so I don't even know what they would eat. Probably just some type of pasta that's like uh insanely overpriced.
And like in a really big dish, but it's like this much
Tiny,
pasta.
itty bitty
Yeah.
little portion.
And it's like $25. Put a little bit of basil on it from the garden on the roof.
Or you could go the other way and just like a slice of pizza and a Coke at an arcade or something, like first date vibes.
Or a really classy upscale date at like an Olive Garden or something.
Yeah, there you go.
That's high class for my partner and I.
Yeah.
So for these last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Ooh. Well, first of all, I'm gonna want to get drunk as fuck, so I don't know what's going on. So my drink would probably be like a Long Island iced tea or something.
Okay.
And my meal would be the best slice of vegan cheese pizza that you can find, and not 2 slices, and fries. Yeah, and then the Long Island. That's what I would go with.
All right. Have you found what you think is the best vegan slice of pizza?
I mean, I've had some. Most of it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's vegan cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the one thing that I've been vegan for like 3 years now, and I just don't think they've figured it out yet. But I've been to some like actual pizza places, and I don't know what vegan cheese they're using, or maybe they're just lying to me, but I've had some really good slices. It's just like you can't find it in a store. You know?
Yeah. I'm also vegan. I've been vegan my entire life. Uno Pizzeria and Grill, they've got a vegan. I've had that. They have a vegan cheeseburger pizza, bro.
Oh,
absolutely! Like it's a deep dish vegan cheeseburger pizza. Fucking insane. Damn. So good.
I've had Uno's vegan pizza on one of the last tours I did. I think we were in Baltimore, and I walked 20 minutes because it was the closest vegan food that I could find. And I don't think it was very good, but I was so hungry that I didn't care.
That's kind of like the vibe that I got, like, because my family and I, we went to Baltimore for a weekend, and like that was the first place that we went after driving the 3 hours down. So it was like, and we waited 20 minutes to get sat, and I was like, this is gonna be the best food whether it sucks or not, because I haven't eaten all day. It was pretty good.
Nice.
I don't know if it would be great on a normal day,
but I'll have to try that next time. We don't have Uno where I live, so I only get it if I'm on tour.
Fair enough.
Can convince somebody else to go.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Yeah. That was kind of like the inspiration for at least these, like the first 2 videos that we shot. Blood Moon is out now, but the other one I think comes out at the end of this month. But yeah, that was like pretty much the only notes that I gave Bob, the director. It's just that I wanted it to look like Twin Peaks surrealism. Because that whole show is just like it's a murder mystery, but it's also like a soap opera.
Oh.
And there's all these like romantic scenes and like gorgeous scenery set in slow motion, like waterfalls, time lapse, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I think. It would just be interesting to live in that fake world.
For sure. Nice. That sounds sick. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
Whoa.
What is your favorite color?
I think I used to tell myself when I was a kid that my favorite color was orange. And I think that was just because I wanted to be different. But the fact is that I don't wear that color at all. and I don't really, I'm kind of indifferent towards it. I think if the color that I wear the most is probably like navy blue. So I guess that
Okay.
would be my favorite color.
That's a good
Nice.
color. Good pick.
Yeah.
It's very, it matches with a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
It does.
So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, just new record comes out October 28th, I'm pretty sure. First single and video is out now. You can watch that on YouTube or listen on any streaming services. Watch out for the next single dropping at the end of the month. And if you want, you can follow me at Fantasy Camp on everything.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you for
Sick.
now. That's been Fantasy Camp, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.